Let Jamie and Steve get started. Hey guys, how was your day?
Hey, thank you very much, Scott. Steve, what's shaking over there, my friend?
What's going on, Jamie? Just turned on the air conditioner in San Diego. It's
Uh-oh,
it's
it must be in the 80s.
gratitude every time that thing kicks on.
Welcome, everybody, to the July 6th edition of Office Hours. I'll be your host, Jamie Hodge. I got my trusty buddy in here, Steve Gomez, and hopefully we're going to show you some cool things today. But before we get started, just want to take a minute to make the lawyers sleep a little easier, and just want to make it known that all the information we share is for educational purposes only. Meaning, if you do need investment advice, please seek out someone who's qualified to dispense that type of advice, someone like a registered investment advisor, Series 7 licensed stockbroker, so forth and so on. So just once again, everything that we share with you guys is for educational. And I got a nice little crowd in here. I see more people streaming in there, new people, and everything in between. So Barry does a fantastic job at showcasing his trading style and the way that he uses the technology. So if you haven't been taking advantage of that resource, by all means, you might want to rethink that and get on in there. Of course, today is office hours. You get myself and Steve. And Steve's going to take the helm tomorrow for the trade of the week. And Andy Lindelof usually rides shotgun, typically giving you a peek of new features that might be coming down the pipeline. Always entertaining with those two. Andy's going to round out the 5 p.m. Eastern slots with the trading studio, and I'll ride shotgun with him. And of course, our related. It's a live environment. You'll see on the next slide here, just to get any type of help that you might need, whether it's something simple as configuration of an alert window or back testing, questions about the AI, anything is fair game there. New account, we were just talking about this earlier. By the time the next bar comes in, we're probably second half demo orders, but as far as I know, last month we blew our record out of the water as far as live executions being sent through interactive brokers. I'll be with the system. They're going, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to go ahead and flip these over to live, and we can see that in the back office. So what that tells us, other than people are really loving Brokerage Plus, whether it's automation or manual or a little bit of both, it's working. It's a more efficient way to trade. And so if you haven't been using Brokerage Plus, do that as well. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later in the presentation. I'm going to show you guys how I've been interacting with the AI with Brokerage Plus, doing a little bit of the what we call gray boxing with the entries being made by the AI and then me managing the exits. And here we are at the agenda for today. And Steve, I guess you're ready to talk about this little choppy action. Of course, we had a nice fat gap up, but that's just it. It was a gap up, and then we had a little choppy range for the remainder of the day, but there's still plenty of good opportunity out there if you knew where to look. Over to you.
Sure. Just playing with my doodler over here. I spotted. And let's
it looks more like a sea monster.
We're going to focus on the 200-day moving average just to kind of pull back and get a 40,000 that we can see how it did volume for a second. We are in the summer volume, but as shares are based more skewed towards technology, and it kind of just shows that technology is leading us higher, was leading us higher before the COVID. And I think after COVID, it's certainly continuing to lead us higher for many reasons, people could argue. But with the S&P, it's got some energy in there. This is really the bigger 100. Takeda was writing it, attribute a lot of that to heavily weighted technology and people are just doing online. Teslas, you're driving Teslas. Bigger picture, let's zoom back and play there, for lack of a better word to it, and I'll look at stuff as always.
All right, you should ask a little bit about some of the stuff I always like the market this morning, which I use, take a look at the readings after the first 15 minutes. So that was what was going on with the compare counts. They were not the biggest help today. Just wanted to kind of clarify that. Observations, share, and typically what I like to go over with the recap here, conservative mode being just that, in a profit save, and we had a couple. If we sort by moderate profit here, you'll see we got this one in new. So keep that in mind as you move simulated mode here. Marks there, and the system will size me up accordingly. You know, in the client here, moderate profit mode, because I like we could call gray box in, and then you manage the exit. Just everybody get a grip on what that might look like based on sluggishness of the market today. because on 7 positions, difference between what we see here, where this, but we're not done yet, because a little small stock can help you prepare for each and every market scenario based on the gap, based on several different factors there. Help conservative, that's right where I want to be. Sometimes we're going to get her numbers up there, but the shaded area matching up with where Holly got out in conservative mode. So I pegged that one pretty good. Couple of the other ones here, NLS, how did Holly do in that one in conservative mode? 184, so I only made 110 bucks on that one. NIU, how'd you do in that one? $33.25 in conservative mode, moderate profit mode, losing $19.95, where I came in 60 bucks on that exit. NEW, 16 bucks in conservative, 38 in moderate profit mode, came pretty close there, right at 36 bucks. VIR, just a big loser in both categories right here, and ended up making a little bit of money in that one. CRON, $18 loser, I lose 22 bucks, so kind of right on par there. And lastly, PDLI, 45.81 in moderate profit mode, I come in 45.82. So not really a whole lot of skin off my back. All that matters in the end is the total. So sometimes we'll outperform on a specific trade, sometimes we'll underperform, but it's all on the basket here, and just working out of the positions as you see fit. So just want to give you guys a little peek into what is, what's capable with the AI. And I do believe the best way to do this is let the AI make your entries, and you train over time by watching things and make your exits accordingly based on some chart reading skills, whether that be intraday only or a little bit of intraday with daily, identifying specific support and resistance levels. It's a really good training mechanism, and with the built-in kind of slippage that we have here, it's a pretty close approximation to a live environment. Probably one of the better ones that I've seen. And I've been dallying with these systems since the latter part of 2008. So we've got a really good tool here to help us learn, learn how to engage with the AI. So fire it up. If you've got access to Brokerage Plus, your premium subscriber, fire it up, start watching these strategies, start engaging the trades, and by default, you're probably going to learn something. All right, so I think we're all caught up on questions thus far. Let me do a little time check here. All right, looking good. Holly recap, slippage, commissions. Okay, now we're going to revisit a window that I've shared a couple of different times here called Pin the 10. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop this back into real time just to make sure, okay, this is what the window looked like at the close today. Now, if we take a peek at the settings here, we've got some of that basic filtering, min-max price. We're using the earnings per share filter for, a different reason, just to weed out the ETFs and iShares. We got a little bit of volume in here, 300,000 a day over the 5-day average. But this is really what I'm focusing on. All of these stocks have to be at least 2% above their 10-period moving average on the daily chart. And what I've noticed over time is it's pretty interesting. These stocks tend to stay in momentum on the intraday session. So it's a really simple configuration here. And then we've got the position and 20-day range filter. Where'd my pointer go? Hold on one sec. We've got the position and 20 range shown as a column here. All right. So notice the full green bars. What that is telling us is that these stocks not only went up to the top of their 20-day range, but they're setting new 20-day ranges right now. If we look down here, hold on one sec, my pointer keeps escaping me. So for example, if I look at AKRO real quick here, we are very close to penetrating that 20-day range. If we have a little bit of daylight here, that's what it's indicating. We're getting close. Once we pop through and go through and start setting new highs on that 20-day range, the bars become solid here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use the time frame mechanism, and we're going to go back to the open today. See what the list looked like. See what these stocks did. Okay, now note the time up here. This is the first 5 minutes of the market that we're going to be looking at now. If I can make my pointer work, yes, there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take a look at the top 10 stocks here right off the bat that would have been shown to us between 8:30 and 8:35 a.m. Central Standard Time, or 9:30, 9:35 Eastern Time. And we're going to take a look and see, based on the opening 5-minute candles, how these stocks would have held up if we just would have, after the first 5-minute candle, bought the stock, used the low of the opening 5-minute candle as a stop. What would have happened? How many of these, we're going to look at the first 10 here and see how many of them would have given you an opportunity to exit for a profit here. So LFC, first on the block here, all right? Opening 5-minute candle right here. Second one right there, and then look what we had over the remainder of the day. Nice little steady grind up, all right? So, yay, that one worked. Okay, what about Cena? Let's take a look at it. All right, so keep in mind, I've marked off the opening lows of the 5-minute candle right here. So the orange line is going to be the stop area. And once again, we get to open right here on the second candle. You know, we get a little bit of a wiggle here, but for the remainder of the day, we did move higher and would have had a nice opportunity to exit for a profit. NIO, opening 5-minute candle here, open of the second 5-minute candle there, never comes close. Over the next 45 minutes to an hour, we did have an opportunity to bail in that position for a profit. So far, LFC, Cena, NIO, good news. Simple methodology as well. Futu, I already know this one did not work. Bottom of the opening 5-minute candle right here. This one guy opens up here. It fights the good fight, but eventually capitulates here. And so that one would have not worked. So far we're 3 for 4. CHL. All right, nothing to write home about here, but you know, opportunity to exit for a higher price than your entry still present. If we look right here at the open of that second 5-minute candle, using that first one as a stop, around about 37.27, never lit the world on fire, but hey, sometimes they do this. But a winning trade nonetheless. CZZ, not too shabby. Open of the second 5-minute candle right here, and over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes, a nice run up to 1883 from 1754. So once again, nice profit-taking opportunity up there as well. How about QFIN? How did it do? All right, opening 5-minute candle right here. Second one opens right about here. Goes sideways for a little bit, but man, this thing just pushed higher for most of the day, topping out at 1361. And we had somewhere in the neighborhood of 1228, 1230, anywhere in this area right here. We got 1235, 1240. So a nice little winner in that one as well. So far, we've only had one loser thus far. CHU, kind of looking very similar to what we saw earlier. Not a losing trade, not a huge winning trade either, but hey, green is green. Looks like 632, you know, if we held to the close, maybe we could have made a dime on it, but hey, they can't all light the world on fire. Just being green or not being at a loss on a position of this nature is a good thing. What do we got next? TME. Okay, another nice little mover. Opening 5-minute candle. This guy opens right here around 1492. And what happened there? I don't know. Give me a second. Somehow I accidentally changed my time frame. All right, let's try this again. Don't know how that happened. Okay, so we got right about 1492. This guy motored on up to, you know, not quite up a point going into the close, but really nice opportunity to exit for a profit and staying well above our entry for most of the day. Lastly, I think we do have one more loser here. So we've just looked at 10 stocks, the first 10 stocks on this list, and all of them worked except 2, all right, which is not bad at all. FUV, open of the second 5-minute candle right here, and this will just, collapse pretty quickly here, but we can't win them all right. We would have taken a position right here around 788. Fortunately, the bottom of that opening 5-minute candle was just about a dime away, so it is a loser. It would have been a small loser, and that's okay. So keeping in mind, we just looked at the first 10 here, where we see the big green bars already in effect in the opening 5 minutes, and the methodology is pretty simple. If you can stomach the risk of the opening 5-minute candle, or whatever your preference is, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you can put that trade on, and we'll see if this continues. I've been tracking these for quite some time, and it just looks like when we blow through these 20-day ranges here, then we also see nice adherence to the 10 period on the intraday as well. Of course, there are no guarantees, but been watching this list for quite some time, and definitely going to keep my eyes on it for tomorrow as well. So I'm going to also take the opportunity to put this back on live. And let me just make sure I did that right. We'll just say live always.
That scan, is it available on the channel anywhere, or do you have to share that one out because people are asking, of course?
I'm going to have to share it out because I'll probably have to get somebody to drop it in channel, or the Trader's Vault, as it is now called, because this one did not make it in there.
Okay. Well, he'll share it out for all those that are asking. I can't keep up. He'll share it in the chat window soon.
Yeah, I'm going to do that right now, assuming I can find my chat window. Where'd you go, chat window? There it is. Okay. All right, so let me paste that in there. Actually, let me just label it real quick. That is the pin to 10, 2% above daily. And give it a Control V. All right, so that cloud link has now been dropped in. So have fun with that one. Interesting and simple, which is what I like. All right, moving right along here. Okay, now, oh no, don't do that to me. Sorry about that, guys. I pulled the old shakeroo, and it wanted to minimize all my windows here. And of course, the 2 that I wanted to show did not come back up. So let me just locate them here. Where'd you go? You know what? I think I'm just gonna have to reload my layout here. Path of least resistance. Okay. And Steve, I've never seen this before, but my pinned windows did not stay pinned. I'll have to explore that issue later. Well, fortunately, I know where these guys came from, and that's what we're going to talk about real quick here. Okay, so I always like to point out nice tight range breaks when they occur. Well, because they're always there. There were a couple of downside ones today that came out that were just beautiful. All right, number one, this PSXP, it was probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a little over an hour and a half into the market. Okay, classic seller in play here in the first 45 minutes, as we can see here. And then guess what? Seller takes a break right here. And by the way, hold on here. This turbo breaks down window right here is where I identified PSXP, and the other one that we're going to talk about shortly in KLA, Nicola. So what has to happen for this range to be broken? It has to hit a new low, okay? And that's what we're looking for in this window right here. When the market is open, we're scanning the stocks as they come through. We're seeing if they meet this nice tight consolidation right here. And if that's the case, we'd like to catch them as soon as they break this little area right here. So therefore, we can take small risk in hopes of very fat returns. You know, if risk is R, we always like to get 2, 3, or more R if we can. And that's all going to be based on our risk tolerance and the setup. So when we see something like this, seller's in control, seller takes a break for about an hour because they can't just slam the market. You know, they have to slice it and dice it and try to have minimal impact, but eventually they got to get some selling done, and this is typically what happens. So we can see right here, when this level right here was broke, that's when the fun started, right? So anywhere in this candle would have been a great fill. Of course, we always want to try to get it as close to that break area as we can. Even halfway down would have been a choice entry right here. And then typically what I do is I look at the prior 15-minute candle, not the entry candle, but the prior 15-minute candle, and mark that off as my risk level. Now, I went just a little higher here because that was such a tiny area. Why not go ahead and mark it there? This was our risk area. And clearly, by the time the day was over, you know, down here, choice exits. If you didn't make it here, it gives you one more chance. But we could definitely pack that risk area 4 or 5, maybe even 6 times into that reward area. So this was just a perfect example of a setup of a range break where very little energy was expended from this area right here down to the break point, and that's what we like to look for. We don't want to see big moves down like right here, leading to a point like this. We want to see nice tight consolidation leading up to that point. So PSXP was definitely the layup range break today, and paid pretty handsomely. Now, the other one that I was getting at, Nicola, however you want to pronounce it, and yes, this is the competitor to Tesla, and I guess they thought they'd be cute and name theirs Nikola. Now you have Nikola and Tesla, both making electric vehicles. I've kind of perused this company a little bit. The truck they're coming out with is pretty impressive looking, but that's neither here nor there. That's beside the point. I also saw our friend over at Alpha Trends, Brian Shannon, talking about this one today. Talking about how it tested the VWAP area. I forgot the exact date that he had it anchored to, but he said, you know what, the next test is probably going to be the 50 period coming down right here, and this thing is setting up pretty nicely. It's definitely going to be on my radar for tomorrow. If it sets up to the short side like it did today, it might be another good trade because we have down here to contend with. Looks like the writing is on the wall. Bottom of that candle right there coinciding perfectly with the 50 up here. Okay, so definitely one you might want to keep on your radar for tomorrow, but it's set up quite nicely today with the break being right here. All right, at the level, what do we have here? I think that's about a 2-point run that it made there, 51.74 down to wow, more than that, about 3 points and change, approaching 4 points. So if you were short this one on this break, you're already 4 points in the money and looking good for some more downside momentum tomorrow. However, look at where we closed today, 48.39, and if we do make it all the way down here, that's still another 8 points to go, ladies and gents. So this one's definitely going to be on my radar for tomorrow. If it sets up like this again, it might be a pretty good trade to the downside. And then even better, once it does get down here, it might be a pretty good time to maybe even reverse the position depending on how it acts down there. So definitely going to keep my eyes on NKLA for tomorrow, and you might want to do the same. All right, Steve, how are we doing on questions? All caught up?
Caught up, but
Let
they're
me
coming.
just see if I missed anything here. I think we covered it all. So, ladies and gents, I think I'm at the end of my content today. Want to thank you guys for popping in. Looks like we're caught up on questions. So that leaves Scott to walk us out here, let everybody know how they can save a little bit of money either on a new subscription or maybe you're going to upgrade from standard to premium. And I'm sure Scott's going to have a nice code for you guys for that type of stuff. So Scott, if you're ready to walk us out, we're ready for you.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Jamie. On the way out, a couple items. Everyone should grab that earnings season ebook. There's an earnings season coming up soon, so get ready for that with some strategies on how to take advantage of it. Let's go to trade-ideas.com/earnings and grab that free ebook. Got a podcast, just released a new one very recently. Search for Trade Ideas Podcast wherever you listen to your podcast and check out that interview. You can also check out some of the previous pods that are available in the archives. Got some good interviews up this year. New code for this month, summertime. Use that to either upgrade from standard to premium or start a new account with us and save 15% off your first month or year of that. Just plug that in when you get to the checkout. You can follow Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot. Steve Gomez is at Today Trader. We also have at Trade Ideas. Facebook.com/Trade Ideas Pros, the place to go on Facebook to like and share stuff with your friends. And of course, any questions, email us info@trade-ideas.com. It goes directly into our help desk, and you can see the help you need as quick as possible. Excuse me. And the webinar has been recorded. You're going to have that up tomorrow morning or tonight, and you get an email tomorrow from GoToWebinar with a link to the playlist where it will be the newest webinar. Thanks all. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Steve. Have a good one.
Hey, thanks everybody for popping in. Steve, we'll see you tomorrow, buddy. Bye-bye.